So decisions is the first point. Actually, the second point we have discussed. The first is we all wish to improve our lives. And the nodal points we have understood is the decisions we make. The question arises, how can people make better decisions? Parents are always eager to pass this on to the children. Because if they have learned to make the proper choices, when they go ahead in life, you know, they will make their lives a success. What is then the way to make better choices? Let's now come to the third point. Decisions are made from our values. We all harbor within us a set of values. And when choices present themselves in life, we automatically refer to our values and make the decisions. What are values? Value is the importance our intellect accords to various things. What value do you accord to your conscience? What value do you accord to wealth? To goodness, to service, to money, to fame, to comfort? We all have these inner reference points. They are our values. There was a widow lady. Unfortunately, she was also blind. She had a teenage daughter. The daughter and mother used to live by the seaside. The daughter was uneducated. The lady was unemployed. To maintain that little family unit, the daughter, being an expert diver, would dive into the ocean and get precious stones from the ocean bed. She would go on selling them and she would gather them in a little box. One day, this widow's daughter went to the ocean, never to return. The mother kept waiting and waiting and waiting until she feared that the worst had happened. Now, she didn't have enough to eat. She knew that her daughter used to gather these stones in a little box. And even without her eyes, she managed to find that box. She took that box to the market, to a jeweler's shop. And she requested the jeweler, relating what had happened. She said, "I cannot even eat a square meal. If you will be kind enough to buy these precious stones from me, and in return give me $20,000, $30,000, my 2-3 years will go by." The jeweler was a man of integrity. He looked at those stones and was astonished to find that they were invaluable gems. He said, "Madam, unfortunately, I do not have the money to purchase these jewels. Give me a few days. I shall contact the Jewelers Association and together we shall gather the funds required to purchase this. In the meantime, here's something for your expenses." The jeweler contacted the association. He showed them the gems, explained the scenario, and said, "We need to come up with a few $1 million. They said, "If this lady is blind, she did not know the price of these jewels. She brought them to you. Why did you tell her that they are so precious, that it needs a few $1,000,000 to purchase? You could have sent her away, giving her $10,000, $20,000. That lady is blind. The jeweler said, I agree. The lady is blind, but my conscience is not blind. I could have cheated her, but I could not have cheated my conscience. The conscience would always have pricked me. You did wrong. Look at the value system of this jeweler. He is according value to his conscience. Not everybody does that. So many people are getting cheated all the time. So many people bring their tales of woe to me, Swamiji, this doctor, this advocate, this person cheated me. The people who cheated, they are according values to other things. Somebody values wealth so much, they burn people for the sake of wealth. You have bride burning instances in India. Some people value their physical pleasure through games of golf so much, they don't care for anything else. You have cases of golf widows in USA. Who is a golf widow? That wife whose husband is so addicted to golf that he's got no time for her. And in India, you've got cricket widows. Especially when the IPL is going on, or the World Cups. Now their value says, this is the most important. For some people, sabse bada rupaiya. You know, everybody, right now we are not talking about right or wrong. I'm just explaining that we all have our value systems. Many of you may have heard the tale of King Midas and his golden touch. As little children, it was one of those fairy tales that we used to read. King Midas was a very greedy king. And his sole pleasure in life was the amount of gold and treasures that he possessed in his kingdom. One day a fairy gave him a vision and said, what do you want? King Midas said, I will ask, but you will not change your word. The fairy said, go ahead. He said, give me this boon that whatever I touch turns into gold. The fairy said, think again. Are you sure you want it? King Midas said, you are going back on your word. The fairy said, all right, here, you have it. Tomorrow, when you wake up, whatever you touch will become gold. King Midas went to sleep that night a very happy man. He woke up dreaming of the most wonderful pleasures. He yawned, stretched himself, and he was wondering whether he has that boon or not. He got out of bed. He touched his slippers, but they transformed into gold. He said, wow, I've actually gotten the golden touch. He touched his bed, and that also transformed into gold. He jumped out, yippee! He called his servants, I'm thirsty, get me the water. The servant brought the water in the tray. He touched the glass, it transformed into gold. He touched the water to his lips and it became gold. He could not quench his thirst. He said, never mind, let me eat something. Bring some food. The food was brought, but how can anybody eat gold? There also, he was daunted. He said, I am the happiest man, but I am also a hungry man. Never mind, let me take a walk in my garden and see what else can I make gold today. He went out for a walk in his lawn. In the meantime, his darling daughter woke up. And she came running to her papa in the lawn. He out his arms to embrace her, but the moment she touched him, she became a golden statue. And she dropped there. Now his miseries knew no end. He was sitting there and wailing the loss of his dear daughter. Fortunately for him, the fairy came back. And the fairy said, are you happy? He said, I am the most unhappy person in the world. Do you want a second boon? Yes, the second boon I want is please take away the first boon. Fortunately, he was able to reverse this. The fairy was very kind. But very often, the decisions we make based upon our values are not reversible. And that is why we need to first of all check our values to see that we make the good decisions.